from Rivals.com, man. Good morning. I'd like to know just why was it LSU, and just talk about that relationship where Coach Johnson recruited you to Arizona, and that relationship is strong enough to follow him to LSU. And then my second question is, you played with Dylan Cruz this year with Team USA. How strong did that relationship get with you guys?
First, thank you for having me on the show right here. And my relationship with Coach Johnson has reached back for, I think, about 5 years now when he first started recruiting me at Arizona. And I created a special bond with Coach Johnson. And obviously, I went to play for him at the University of Arizona, and I loved playing for him. And when I heard the news that he was getting the job at LSU, I just had to step back and rethink my decision and rethink I wanted to play for Coach Johnson in college. So my prior decision to actually play for him and commit to Arizona was to commit to Coach Johnson. And then playing with Dylan Cruz this summer was an awesome experience. I got to play with a ton of talented young players along with Dylan. He was amazing to play with, and it was really cool to actually meet him in person instead of seeing him on TV with all the highlights and everything. But it was really cool to play with him and just see kind of how he goes about his game. And I think both of us kind of approach things in similar fashion. We play the game hard and respect the game.
Hey, Jacob, this is Glenn West with LSU Country. Nice to meet you. Just I guess talk about your success last year. I mean, you come in as a freshman and, you have a great season. I mean, just what allowed you to be so successful so early on in your career? What about your game do you think allowed you to do that?
I think Coach Johnson had a lot to do with my success this last year. He helped me slow my game down and understand what I need to do as a player, not make the situation bigger than it is and just approach it as a game. I mean, I had a great time last year, won a lot of baseball games and had a chance in the postseason. And I think a lot of that was because of Coach Johnson, how he just slowed me down and just told me my job and what I had to do as a freshman. So I think that's a lot to my success this last year.
Hey, Jacob, welcome to Baton Rouge and LSU baseball. You said you love playing for Coach Johnson. I was curious, what is it about him that you love? You talked about him bringing out some of your game and slowing you down. Is it just the practices and the principles? Because you're kind of in that stage once again with this team where you're trying to get those thoughts across. And then secondly, he joked that when you came, I believe it was you, that, the players were asking you more about him, than you actually taking the visit, I guess. Could you kind of walk us through how that went with you and kind of, introducing your coach to your new teammates?
Obviously, being the new kid is a little bit different, especially at a new university this year. But a lot of what Coach Johnson has taught me this last year and a lot of what everybody's been asking is how he approaches the game in a mental standpoint. He is way prepared more than any coach I've ever met, or anything. He talks about the game plan, what our approach is, and everything in that sense. So that's what has helped me so much. And when I first got here, everybody was like, oh, how's practice ran? How is he on this? How is he on this? And I kind of gave it to him straight. I was like, this is how he does things, and this is the way he likes it. So, I mean, a lot of guys, I think, bought into that right away, and you can already see it as a group. So it's been an amazing kind of transition since I've been here. It hasn't really been like I'm the new kid. It seems like I've been part of the program already.
Jacob, David from Rivals, how much of that has been kind of building on Michael's question there, teaching everybody? You're the new guy, but you know the Jay Johnson way. You know what is expected and hitting styles, just overall, just team attitude. How much of that has Coach Johnson relied on you to kind of be his ambassador of that?
I don't think he's relied on me as much as you think. He comes across very clear on what he wants, and he does a good job. A lot of it is just when players have questions, they kind of come to me and ask, hey, how is this? Just double check and make sure they're going about it in the right way, which a lot of guys are. I mean, it's a new program or a new way it's ran, so it's a definite change. Sorry to say that, but it's a little change. So everybody's just making sure they're on the right path right now.
Hey, Jacob, I guess another one for me. A little bit of a two-parter here. Just what have you been kind of focusing on this offseason in terms of your development? What have you really wanted to get better at? And then kind of the second part to it is just how you've adjusted to Baton Rouge. I mean, obviously LSU has a pretty rich culture here with their baseball program. Just have you learned anything, about LSU or about the program since getting here?
To answer your first question, this summer was the biggest thing I worked on this summer was my defense and just becoming more confident and believing in myself as a defender. And I know I can hit, and I know I'm a good base runner. I just got to continue to improve myself as an all-around player. So that was my biggest emphasis this off season, and obviously staying in the weight room and getting healthy. And the change to Baton Rouge is a little different. It rains a little more than in Arizona, that's for sure. But it's been an amazing experience so far. The people are unbelievable. The culture within the players and the coaches is just, I've never seen anything like it, and it's been a really cool thing to experience this far. So, I've just enjoyed it, and I'm experiencing everything I can right now.
Jacob, Mike Scarborough with TigerBait.com. Glenn kind of took a little bit of my question, but how are you enjoying Baton Rouge, Louisiana? Found any particular Louisiana delicacies that you've gravitated towards, or how much of culture shock or fish out of water has there been for you?
I think the culture shock is it's a good way to put it. There's a lot more hunting and fishing, which I actually love to do. So that experience here has been awesome, especially in the last few weeks. I've gotten to go duck hunting for the first time in my life, and I've gotten to go fishing and crabbing and everything like that. So I'm just enjoying my life right now to the fullest. I'm a little kid in a candy shop right now with Louisiana, so I'm having a great time.
Good stuff.
That's cool. Take advantage of it while you can, for sure. I was curious about the weight room. Coach had stressed the strength and conditioning program in his introductory deal, and obviously you mentioned it a moment ago. Was that a little bit of a shock for your teammates, and are you kind of dragging them through it, the process of what Coach wants when it comes to the conditioning side of things?
I don't think so. I think they had a good conditioning sense, and Travis Troy ran a good program here beforehand, and I think all the kids were very strong when I came in. I was a little shocked, to be honest with you, because last year I felt like my team the team at Arizona last year was very physical, and this year I came in and I was actually really impressed with how strong a lot of players were, such as Dylan, Gavin Dugas, Tyler McManus, and just kind of across the board, everybody was in great shape and very, very, you can tell they put the time in the weight room, which a lot of teams, it seemed like, don't do.
Any more questions?
William, you have a question?
Yes. Jake, I want to ask you, when you first committed to make the trip to Baton Rouge, how much did your dad kind of fill you in what you were getting involved with, since he played at UL Lafayette and was very familiar with the rivalry, an hour apart, and just kind of, get prepared?
So my dad actually went through the similar situation I did. After his sophomore year at Oral Roberts, he went through a recruiting process again and committed to UL. So he played a year at UL, and he kind of gave me a little bit of a clue to how things ran down here in the South, it seems like. And I really didn't believe him, to be honest, and all that way. But when I got down here, I definitely understood where he was coming from, and everything he said has been 100% true. The people are amazing. Food's amazing, and just the culture and the way people view baseball down here is just different. So I'm excited to experience it in spring, and I'm just looking forward to it right now.